Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. So today I'm going to be doing a quick review of Justice League Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #1. It is written by Tom Taylor with art and colors by Stephen Byrne. The letterer is Darren Bennett and the main cover is done by Carl Kerschel. Now this book, this #1, has its main cover and then it has 5 additional variant covers. So that's a ton of covers for one book. So I find that to be really interesting. The main cover, as you see here, it's pretty cool. It's got Superman and the Red Ranger split, and then the Justice League and the Power Rangers each on the other side. The first variant cover, it has the Pink Ranger and Batman, and then you have the Blue Ranger and Cyborg, which I think is my favorite of the lot. That looks pretty neat. And then you have one with the Flash and the Black Ranger, and finally it looks like the Yellow Ranger and John Stewart. Oh, and then there's one more, so you have another one. It has Superman and the Green Ranger, and then one with the Red Ranger and Wonder Woman, which I think looks really great too. I actually really like the rebirth look for Wonder Woman. I think she looks pretty awesome. Even better than her new 52 look, which I was also a fan of, but her rebirth look is pretty perfect. So, a whole grip of variant covers with this book. Okay, so starting off, this book is pretty good, but it's definitely geared towards a younger audience. The book itself is rated teen and up, which I found to be a little strange. I didn't really see anything in the book that would merit that high of a rating. I don't think anyone dies or anything, but it's really for all ages. I don't think someone who's like 10 years old would have a problem with this book, and honestly, it seems like this would be a really great series if you were 10 to 12 or so. Someone who's actually like in high school might think it's a little cheesy, but I think adults and really young audiences would enjoy it. But the art style to me and the characters themselves really seem like, if I had a boy who was like 10 or a girl who was like 10, I would buy them. I would buy them this book. It's really good, especially for a young person who is just getting into comics or hasn't started reading comics yet. So in any case, the Power Rangers themselves are high school aged. So when someone's like 12, the high school kids are the big kids and they're kind of who you look up to. So that would make sense. In any case, starting off in the book, we're at Power Rangers, well, we're in the Power Rangers universe in a town called Angel Grove, and they're at their high school, which is how I know how old they are. But basically there's a disaster that happens, and this character who's one of the Power Rangers, the Black Ranger, he's named Zach, he thinks it's his fault, but what he ended up doing, he didn't cause the disaster. It was set up by the bad guy, and what happens is everyone gets pulled into the DC dimension, but Zach goes first, so he comes through with some putties and he fights them, but he runs into Batman, and he thinks Batman is one of Zedd's monsters, he calls him. But the other Power Rangers follow through and follow Zach, and they fight Batman too, so he fights all of them by himself for a little bit, but he's having a hard time, so he calls for help from the Justice League, and Flash shows up and takes all of the weapons away from the Power Rangers and dumps them on the ground. And then the Pink Ranger summons her pterodactyl dinosaur power, and it's that, robotic dinosaur thing. And she steals Batman. That's how the comic ends. It's the Flash is saying, Batman's been taken by a flying pink dinosaur robot. So the book itself, as you can see, is really short. It's definitely shorter than a regular comic, because I just went through the whole plot of that issue in like 2 minutes. But it's pretty cool, and like I was saying, for a young audience, remember when I was like young person, like 10, I would just flip through the book over and over, something like that. So, pretty solid comic. I don't know if you saw the other video I did about the news on this series, but right now, 4 issues have come out, and the last 2 are delayed, and even if they come out, they're only going to do 6 issues. So this is definitely a mini-series. I'm curious to see what they do with it. I'll definitely do a review of #2 because I'm curious myself what's going to happen. So that in and of itself should tell you the writing's pretty decent. And for like 13 and under, I would say this is like a 10/10 book, like a do buy. But if you're a grown-up, unless you're a fan of the Power Rangers or you're just like a voracious comic book reader, use your best discretion. Like I'm 32, so like if I had a choice between this book and The Shadow, the Batman The Shadow, the other crossover, the 2017 crossover DC put out, I would definitely go for Batman The Shadow if I had to choose between the two. So that's my personal preference and my advice on the book. Overall though, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. And that's all for now. As always, please subscribe if you haven't. It really helps me out, and I do videos nearly every day, so you won't miss any if you are subscribed. Well, thank you for watching.
End of line.